Hey everybody, it is Rick. We're going to dive into February Part 1. If you didn't watch my last review video or didn't pay attention in the beginning, I'm doing review videos in two parts now. The first half of the month and second half of the month. Some videos, like the last one, will be very long. I watched 17 or 16 movies in the second half of January. This one, 6 movies to talk about in the first half of February. So definitely not nearly as long of a video, and we're going to dive right in. 6 movies to talk about. The first thing we watched was DMX, Don't Try to Understand, on HBO Max. I sound like a broken record, but yet another music documentary about someone whose music I listened to in the past. Basically, this movie is about DMX being released from prison in early 2019. He comes back to Def Jam to put out a new album fresh out of jail. What they didn't know when they were filming this movie, obviously, DMX passed away unexpectedly, kind of, in 2021. The movie is to celebrate the 20th anniversary of his album, It's Dark and Hell is Hot. He was going on a tour. He ended up being in jail, so they postponed it and turned it into the 21st anniversary tour. He went to jail for tax evasion. They talked about that a lot. It also talks about his addiction problems, which ultimately ended up being the cause of his death. His numerous kids and how important it was to get a big advance on the album he was doing. He has 17 children with 11 different women as of the filming of the movie. It ended up being more than that by the end of his life. And how much, like, he had to give to all different people signing this deal. And like I said, he had to sign this deal and needed a bigger advance so he could pay all sorts of different people. The documentary is really short, under just under 80 minutes. It's also part of the HBO Max or HBO Music Box series. I talked about the Woodstock 99 documentary. There's an Alanis Morissette documentary that I still need to check out. And the documentary kind of ends abruptly, like without getting into certain things, dark aspects of what were going on in his life. They kind of like grazed over it and then just ended the film. So I give it a 3 out of 5. It's watchable. If you're a fan of DMX, definitely worth checking out. If you're curious about the last couple of years of his life, it's an interesting watch, but disappointing. I wanted there to be more. So the next thing we watched was Jackass Forever in theaters using Regal Unlimited. I grew up watching the Jackass movies and shows. I was the perfect age when Jackass was a thing. 16 years old when the first movie was in theaters, 16 years old when the TV show came out. 18 when the first movie came out in theaters. So I was that perfect target demographic. So I grew up watching the Jackass stuff. Lived local to, Bam Margera, Ryan Dunn, like in the same kind of area. I had seen spots that they filmed on like Viva La Bam and stuff in real life, in the Jackass movies in real life. So it was fun. So for Jackass Forever, it had been 11 years since Jackass 3D came out. Since then, there was Bad Grandpa, which was also pretty fun. And Ryan Dunn obviously was no longer with us, so they gave a nice little tribute to him at the very end of the film. Bam Margera is still with us. He's dealing with a lot of personal demons. He was supposed to be in the movie. He was filming in the movie and got cut out of the entire thing because he had a clause in his contract. Said he had to stay sober and take tests, and I guess he couldn't do that. So this introduces a new group of Jackass characters, and the movie was a lot of fun, but it didn't feel quite like the original 3. And obviously, people get older. I don't want to see Johnny Knoxville getting in an accident so bad that he can't have one more hit on his head or he's going to be a vegetable. But lots of new characters involved. Poopies, yes, I said Poopies, and Zach being my favorite 2 characters of the new ones. Lots of pop culture cameos sprinkled throughout the entire movie, which was fun to see. Tyler the Creator, Tony Hawk are a few that come to the top of my mind. And this movie has some lulls in it, which the other ones really didn't. It was like constant laughs. This one wasn't constant, like, I don't know. It didn't hit constantly for me. I'm excited. Jackass 4.5 is now on Netflix. Should be on Paramount Plus. That's a whole nother conversation. But I'm actually going to try to watch that tonight. So I'm hoping that'll be enjoyable. I didn't hate this movie. I still enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a really fun experience, especially seeing this in theaters with a pretty full theater was a fun time. And last but not least, Aaron, I'm not going to say his name. Danger Aaron is the star of the film. He dealt with the worst punishments, stunts, and really shined. So Danger Aaron, well done. And the movie is like a tight 90 minutes, and it's a fun time. Jackass Forever gets a 3.5 out of 5. Next up, we watched a movie called Lady of the Manor, which I believe was released by Lionsgate, but we watched it on Amazon Prime. Written and directed by Justin Long, as well as his brother Christian. The movie's about Melanie Linsky, plays a character, Hannah, down in her luck, gets a job at a local historical estate, and basically will try to, like, do anything to keep a roof over her head. She drinks, she sleeps with her boss to keep a job. And she encounters a ghost of the woman who lived in the house that she's working in, played by Judy Greer. The movie offers some laughs, but nothing great. Justin Long's in it as well. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5. So that is Lady of the Manor. Not much to say about that. Death on the Nile was the next thing we watched. Regal Unlimited. So we saw this one in theaters. And I might be in the minority with this, but I was not a fan of the movie. Thought it was incredibly slow and very, very boring. I thought there was, I think I definitely nodded off in the movie theater when we saw this. The ending went on way too long, like explaining all this useless crap that didn't need to get explained. A fun supporting cast. They do a great job casting these movies. Murder on the Orient Express was the same way, and I know it's based on, old source material. I get that. But this movie was just rough. Some of the CGI in the movie was brutal, like horrible. A lot of animals were CGI'd and they looked terrible. But it was nice to see Russell Brand back on the big screen. And like I said, worth watching. Nothing amazing. I give it a 2 out of 5. Death on the Nile. Next up, we watched a newer movie on Amazon Prime, and that is called I Want You Back. Was excited about this one because we got an R-rated comedy, like a romantic comedy. Was excited for it. Starred Charlie Day and Jenny Slate. I enjoyed both of them. And the movie's not that great. It's funny. It's super, super duper predictable. The supporting characters were really weak. I feel like a romantic R-rated comedy really shines if you have strong supporting characters. Because Charlie Day and Jenny Slate were good together. They had good chemistry. The movie's cute, but you've seen this movie before. Like it does not offer anything new in the R-rated romantic comedy field. If you're in the mood to check out a newer R-rated romantic comedy and you want something fresh to watch, check it out. I give it a 3 out of 5. Not something I would go out of my way to rush and see. And the last thing that we watched, the first half of February, speaking of a predictable cookie cutter thing, is the PG-13 Marry Me, which we watched on Peacock. Probably watched this on Valentine's Day or right around there, if I remember correctly, since it's the end of the first half of February. Led by Jennifer Lopez, who I'm not the biggest fan of to begin with. Also co-stars Owen Wilson. It's a weird pairing there, weird chemistry. Chloe Coleman, who starred alongside Batista in the movie My Spy, plays Owen Wilson's daughter. Sarah Silverman plays Owen Wilson's friend and a co-worker of his. She's funny in the movie, although she's not in the film very much. There's a lot of focus on the music of Jennifer Lopez, and then there's another singer who Jennifer Lopez is dating in the beginning, and then he like cheats on her, and she's supposed to get married to him at a concert. Lots of music. It feels like a music video for a lot of the movie, and more of an advertisement for an album than a movie with an original premise. But I gave Marry Me a 2.5. It's PG-13, romantic comedy, predictable. I guarantee you see where it's going, but the movie is very forgettable. That is it, guys. That is everything I watched the first half of February 2021. 2022. This is 22. 2021 is a long time ago. So thank you for watching. Check out the description box down below where you can find links to my socials, as well as Letterboxd, eBay store, my Blu-ray.com profile, email address, P.O. box can all be found down below. Thank you guys for watching. So as always, until next time, who's down to movie?